The municipality of Maicao, La Guajira, is one of the most affected regions of the country because since 6 months ago, the drinkable water doesn't reach people's home. Every day, they must go to the town of Corotaqueros searching water to consume. This problematic affects around 160,000 people. In Los Santos, Santander, the drought of almost 2 years causes problems of the supply to the aqueduct. The stream La Cañada, which supplies the rural area, has already dried up. In 20 years, it went from covering 41% to 72.8%, which means that only 1.59% of the population was given solution per year. It is a minimum figure, considering that in Colombia there are 11,653,673 people living in countryside.
The municipality of San Bernardo del Viento, on the shore of the Caribbean Sea in Córdoba, was declared a public calamity because its inhabitants don't have drinkable water to consume. 5,794 families of trails and corridor are affected by severe droughts. The families in the municipality of Turbo in Antioquia had established daily dynamics for facing life without water, investing time, money, and effort, and according to their perceptions and possibilities. The defining practices and uses for the water which they had access to the available water sources consisted of a piped water supply which had to be paid and was collected from other neighborhoods and bought bottled waters. Less available water sources were resorted to at critical moments during shortage, and this can be seen especially in Currulao Turbo. The water is over, however, the bills continue to arrive, sharing the service. The company says that the problem is due to winter. About 40,000 inhabitants of Currulao Turbo, a town in Urabá, Antioquia, have been suffering for 2 months for the lack of the drinking water service provided by the Urabá company, Optimum. The situation has cited the community as reported by Blue Radio, since the water is distributed in tank trucks at times established by this company Optimum. So far the stability of the service has not been achieved.
In the article of the German writers, they realized that people the more remote and farthest of the countries suffer an extreme need for drinking water. Also, it is noted that Paraguay lived the same situation a few years ago, but managed to save the situation with the state aid, technology, and social movement support by religion. The health effects to drinking dirty water can range from no physical impact to illness, even death. Some effects are gastrointestinal and stomach illness, like nausea. It was registered 500,000 deaths by diarrhea each year and is a major factor in several neglect tropical diseases such as intestinal parasites, schistosomiasis, and trachoma. This happen because bacteria develop easily in water, and although it is more like to happen in polluted rivers and lakes. Water from crystalline sources can also be contaminated by some specific type of bacteria. Pollution can occur due to the ingestion of undrinkable water by direct contact with the sewage water or through the consumption of cooked or washed food with contaminated water. Most waterborne disease can be prevented with certain simple precautions. Remember that knowledge itself does not have a preventive effect if no action is taken in this regard. Here are some precautions. Boil or chlorinate all drinking water. Use drinking water for food preparation and drinking. Use soap and ash to wash hands thoroughly before preparing, serving, or eating food. Store the water in a clean container with a small opening which must be covered. Clean water can be contaminated again if it is not stored. Do not eat raw and undercooked seafood, particularly if they come from contaminated water. Wash your hands with soap and ash after going to the toilet. Never eat raw fruits or vegetables grown on land that have been irrigated or contaminated with wastewater. Buy food and sweets only from items that have potable water containers in good condition and that wrap the products they sell and observe good personal hygiene.
The country has investment in the implementation of systems for water treatment in 2011. The first acute Ida, diarrhea, typhoid fever, and paratofoid having decreased in the period of 2008 to 2014, only hepatitis A registered decreased. One of the good news for the rural areas of the country is the allocation of physical quote of 35 to 1,000 million destined to sanitation and water projects for past 2017. This item is part of a total of $60 million that was guaranteed through a long-term contract by the Inter-American Development to the national government, signed in 2012, and through which the program supply of waters and wastewater management in rural areas. The objective of this initiative is to reduce the gaps in access to drinking water and basic sanitation in the countryside, expanding, improving, and completely constructing aqueducts and sewerage systems to meet the needs of its inhabitants. Investments for more than 130,000 million were approved by the government through the Ministry of City, Housing, and Territory to be executed in aqueduct,